Wow, 1,700 watts out of 1,600 watts of panels. How is this possible, you ask? Well, solar panels have conductors in them. Conductors operate more efficiently when they're cold. It is -5 outside today, and the sun is hot. It is almost noon, so like solar noon. It's dead nuts, pretty much solar noon right now. Look at that, 1,710 watts out of 1,600 watts panels. This is a 60 amp charge controller, and she's kicking out 58.3 amps. 5 kilowatt hours so far today. The panels are making 77.8 watts and 22 amps. The controller then turns that into 29 volts and 58 amps. I gotta be 100% honest. I have never been home, I guess, to catch this in a February clear day. I'm sure it's not the first time it's happened, obviously. These panels have been up. There was 12 7 years ago to 4 years ago. I added 4 more 4 years ago. Now there's 16. So more than half of them are 7 years old. 4 of them are 4 years old, and they're making, I think we're closing in on like 110% of rated output. Batteries are just about peaked. I've got the controller to peg at boost is 29.2, I think, and I've been reconditioning the batteries, mostly these ones, but you know, they're all hooked up, so I'm reconditioning them all this winter, just because they're old. They got a lot of use. I beat them up for a long time, so I raised my float voltage up to 28.5, and I'm just gonna keep it there. I mean, they're already testing better on the hydrometer, but I haven't torn each individual 24 volt leg apart and done load tests yet. I will. I'm just giving them more time. I want to see a little bit more improvement on the hydrometer, and then I will do the load test. There was a bunch of you that gave me very good advice, and I'm taking it. Nobody ever taught me anything about this crap. You know, me and my brother tinkered when we were young, with stuff, taking electronics apart, putting it back together, and you know, salvaging parts from this and that, and making other things. But yeah, I'm gonna keep this real short. I've got a whole bunch of videos on the whole process of this. I had another guy ask if, oh, can I do this with some old Group 31 deep cells? Man, you can do this with anything. You know, any battery that will hold a charge. You can put a system together, and you can start to bring that battery back. You can at least get some use out of it. I ran this whole house, this very same system, just with a different inverter. It was a 12 volt system, and I wanted to improve efficiency, so I bumped up to 24 volts with the same batteries. I had old beat up Group 31s, and I ran the whole house. Washer and dryer, deep freezer, full size fridge upstairs, dishwasher, welder. You know, like it's a normal house, but we are physically disconnected from the grid. I'm sure you noticed the battery charger. If not, that's a battery charger. I have 2 backup battery chargers. One of them is just straight DC. That is an engine and an alternator, and that just dumps amps straight into the battery. It is down currently, so my backup generator is out in the shed, and then I just run a cord, this yellow cord, and that takes the load. I can then shut down the inverter. It takes the load off of the batteries and then just trickles in 10 amps continuously from the little charger, and then anything that I get from the sun or wind just stays in the batteries. There actually is some wind coming in. Look at that. A little bit. 100 watts. Cool. But yeah, man, can be done. Don't skimp out on your wire. And if you're gonna put the system together, it is worth getting an MPPT solar controller. Read the instructions. They're all a little bit different. This one likes to be wired close to I think it's 150 volts max, but like depending on your battery bank, there's kind of an optimal wiring. So I got mine wired for 48 volts for twice my battery voltage, and it really likes it. But yeah, it can be done. Don't skimp out on your wire. Gauge your wire up for double what you plan on it carrying or more, and you'll just never get warm connections, because warm connections create resistance. The cooler a conductor is, the more efficiently it can flow. That's why these panels are kicking out so much damn power right now, is because they are icy cold, and conductors are more efficient when they're cold. High noon in the summer, they would not be doing this. I do end up getting the same overall kilowatt hour in a day just because it's longer light hours. But with the super indirect sun and the cold, and the shorter light hours, I'm still probably going to gross 8, 9 or more kilowatt hours today, with again shorter light hours, indirect sun, but they're cold, and I've got the panels tilted all the way up so they're pointed directly at the sun. Correct panel angle, correct wiring, and you know, you can make it happen. So yeah, if you wanna stop paying for power like me, I got 2017, April 2017, I called up the power company, told them to get the meter off of my house. I'm done giving you money. I'm gonna pay for my power once. I'm gonna cry once. And yeah, it's a bit. I got about 8 grand in this, and a big part of that cost was just wire. Copper wire is expensive. The panels were cheap, the batteries were expensive, and the wire was expensive. The inverter wasn't that bad, the controller wasn't that bad. Most of the money honestly was in the wire and the batteries, and then just time, taking the time to equal length everything, correct connections, tighten it, clean up everything, you know. Take your time, and if you don't have the right stuff yet, hook it up with what you got and add to it. You know, it's not a big deal. I built this over the course of 5 years, and am still perfecting it. So little tweaks here and there, and you know, it's a learning curve. You got to figure out how the sun shines on your yard. It's going to be different than mine. If you're going to do wind, you got to figure out how the wind blows on your yard. It's going to be different than me. I have terrible wind here. It's only productive from the northeast. Everything else is pretty much garbage, dirty, turbulent wind, and doesn't make any power. It's windy outside, but I'm really not done. See, she's back down to 0. And that's probably, oh, I can't see that. Oh, she just, the brake is turning on and off because this controller is limited at 29. So when that ring goes away, the brake's on. Wow. And the brake's on. And she'll let up. She'll unhook the brakes, maybe, and let it spin up. I could turn my dump load controller on, honestly. I think I've got that set high, but that's more of a summer thing. That goes to a water heater. But yeah, go ahead and sub the channel. I got tons of videos going back all the way to when I first put this together with just a couple batteries, a couple panels, an old inverter, a smaller controller. Everything was different. I think I had this piece of wire and this piece of wire, and, like, you know, just a couple things have stayed here. Everything else has been added to it since then, but it's been running the house. So, all right, check it out. Thanks for watching. God bless you.